Hello, Steve Cully, the self-proclaimed best podcast host in the universe. I don't really know if I'm the best of anything at this point. However, if anyone is watching, which I tend to doubt they are, not very entertaining, I just wanted to get my thoughts out on the unfortunate loss we just experienced to Rice University of Rice, the Rice Crispies. Doesn't really matter. Either way, I cannot hide my anger slash frustrations very well, so to speak. And I would say the reason being, we have this monumental win against Boston College, and everyone is thrilled beyond belief about it, that we have finally gotten over the hump and we beat a Power Four conference school, so to speak, which we haven't in, what is it? Was it 2012, I believe? Or was it 2014? It doesn't matter. It'd been a while since we'd beaten a Power Four conference school, and we deserved it. We came out and we played hard. We played an incredible second half, and we beat Boston College. And all of us, including myself, was on the bandwagon. However, I did say that Rice scared me because they were an option team. They have a running quarterback, and we traditionally struggle against running quarterbacks. And that proved to be the case here. So I was beyond frustrated multiple times. When you strictly look at the stat line, the problem, I have no problem with Joe Figiano. I love Joe Figiano. He's the reason that we have 5 wins at this point. Without him, we probably would have won. But when you ask Joe to throw the ball 48 times, it's too much. You can't do that. Our offense has survived on balance. We have a balanced attack. We have more of a running attack than a passing attack. And it's nothing against Joe. It's just how we're built. Now, Cam was hurt. I completely understand that. However, the main difference I saw here, Joe was not allowed to run the ball. We didn't see the zone read concepts that had been successful against BC, against Buffalo. He was blitzed frequently, and when teams blitz, there are two things you can do. You have built-in blitz checks where you know a team is blitzing, you come to the line, you audible, you get yourself into the right play to attack that blitz. Or you have your wide receivers call what's called sight adjustments. And sight adjustments are where the blitz is notified throughout. The quarterback can spread it down the line, hey, this is coming. And the receivers know, based on the blitz, they have to adjust their route. They have to adjust to a shorter route. They have to get separation, and they have to get open, because Rice was bringing 6, sometimes 7. The first half, they blitzed quite often. They brought 6, they brought 7, and we struggled against it. And that's a situation again, and I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking anyone. As a college coach, when I was there for 10 years at Holy Cross, I had my guys frothing at the mouth when they saw a blitz, because they knew, I had them knowing, guys, they're going to blitz us. They want to blink. If they want to bring 5, they want to bring 6. Guess what? They're going to get torched. They're going to get torched. We're going to bury them. We're going to have some big plays, and you better get excited. Get excited when they get blitzed, because a lot of teams get scared. A lot of teams, their butthole puckers up. That's what happens. They get nervous. They get nervous. Oh, they're going to blitz. Oh, they're going to blitz. What do we do? What do we do? Oh, we're going to get killed. No. If you're coached properly and you execute, you can torch and burn the blitz. And those were missed opportunities that we had. The run game disappearing was significant. I know Cam was hurt. Cam Edwards is an absolute warrior. He puts himself out there. He's running probably 75%, and he's still better than half the running backs in the nation. I would take Cam Edwards on my team any day of the week and twice on Sunday, because that kid has heart. Joe Figiano has heart. No matter what happens, no matter how many hits he takes, no matter how many balls he gets batted down, Joe gets up, he fights, he's a leader, and he gets those guys together and he gets them to believe. And that's what counts. That's what matters. Because you're the quarterback, you are the guy. All eyes are on you. The ball is in your hand every play, and you are responsible for making things go. And again, I do not put any blame on our players. I don't. A couple times, sure. We could have made plays. The play in overtime, throwing to Romello Murphy in the end zone. That's a tough throw on the run. It's a corner route. It's in the rain. Asking Joe to execute that, it's challenging. It's really challenging. It's a hard throw to make. It's a very hard throw to make. Would I have come out with that? Probably not. Just after Cam had taken the ball and, scored, I would have tried to stick with the running game a little bit more. But when you're in the shotgun and you're predictable with what you're doing. Now, we did run the ball downhill a little bit more. I was very happy to see that. We didn't do it enough. Oliver Lumber Coleman, whatever his name is, the Swedish kid, he had a beautiful run up the middle, 12 yards. He only had one other carry. MJ Flowers, 2 carries. So when you have an injured Cam Edwards, you're not relying on Victor Rosa. I think Victor can carry the ball. Victor is obviously better out of the backfield, but Victor does it all. Victor can step in. He can pick up the blitz. God bless Cam Edwards. Cam blocked on a screen pass. I believe it was in overtime that almost scored. He was downfield blocking. He did a great job. Up front, I felt we were a little bit deficient at the tackle position. When they were bringing a 3-man rush, we were giving up pressure. And that is unacceptable. A 3-man rush cannot give up pressure, especially when a defense is dropping 8. They're dropping 8. So we need to give Joe time to throw the ball. And I thought Coach Gordy did a nice job coming out, getting the ball to Skylar Bell. He got Skylar involved early. He had that big touchdown early on. But I just, for some reason, I think it kind of went to our head that, hey, we're going to win this game. And it was a dogfight. And credit to Rice, who's lost 4 in a row. They came out and beat us. They rushed for 334 yards. 334 yards. And let me say that because 38 of the carries, and 200, my math is right, 259 yards were amassed by running back Quentin Jackson and quarterback Chase Jenkins. And herein lies the issue that I have. Oh, I'm sorry. They netted 300 yards. I apologize. They netted 300 yards, not 334. But 56 carries for 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. They averaged 5.4 yards to carry. We've struggled against the run all year. They had a plethora of running backs who carried the ball, but Jackson and Jenkins were the guys. And defensively, assignment football, keying on guys, we miss tackles. When we stunt, when we blitz, guys end up in 2 gaps. And what that means is if a defensive tackle is slanting and a linebacker is blitzing, sometimes they end up in the same gap. And when that happens, that opens up a huge lane for Quentin Jackson to rush up the middle, to have a long run of 73 yards, to have a reception of 75 yards, I believe his long was. Yeah. 3 catches, 75 yards. So their passing game, Quentin Jackson, 3 catches, 80 yards and a touchdown. Aaron Turner, 7 catches, 49 yards. And Drayden Dickerman, 4 catches for 30 yards. That's our passing game. Total, 17 receptions, not 191 yards. Very pedestrian. So you have a team that is going to run the ball. You have a team that runs the option. You have a team that runs the spread option out of the shotgun. You have a team that is leaning on Quentin Jackson. They are getting him the ball. So keying on him wherever he's lined up, he's getting the ball. So that's what was frustrating to me. The rest was just window dressing. And Rice did a fantastic job of that. They did a great job of keeping us off balance with their window dressing, with their quarterback keepers. Chase Jenkins ran the ball very well on the outside. He did a nice job. He ran the ball inside. And they did a nice job pulling their offensive linemen, which caused confusion. And, they were reading our inside guys, and it was determining whether Chase was going to pitch it, hand it off, or run it. And that's the beauty of the triple option. But for us offensively, we typically have been more of a second half team. And to come out and score 3 points in the second half is inexcusable. The defense did get stops. They did get stops at critical times. They got us the ball back with a chance to drive down and kick a game-winning field goal. We didn't go anywhere. And Skylar Bell, again, led the way. 8 catches, 158 yards, and a touchdown. Juice Vereen, 2 catches, 38 yards, and a touchdown. Johnny Nider, 2 catches, 38 yards. I give him all the credit in the world. Whenever he's out there, he makes plays. Romello Murphy had 4 catches for 19 yards. We tried to get him some passes on, some jailbreak screens. I thought he did a nice job. I would have liked to have seen Shamar Porter. Lewis Hanson, Shamar Porter did have 1 catch for 6 yards. Lewis Hanson caught the ball on a couple of our nakeds, and he got blown up. And I give him credit for holding on. But I think Coach Gordy has done a good job of growing from last year to this year offensively. He gives multiple looks. He uses multiple personnel groupings. And it gives us an advantage because we are so deep. We are so deep talent-wise. As far as wide receiver, Skylar Bell is the name you hear most. Chris Parker, very capable receiver. Romello Murphy, capable receiver. Shamar Porter, capable receiver. They don't get the touches that Skylar does and some of the other players do. John Nider, Juice Vereen is now coming on. Juice Vereen, I believe, had 10 catches before the BC game, but Juice Vereen is a very difficult matchup for any defense because he's a tight end. So UConn ran a great play at the end of the first half where they ran the receiver, the juice was to the boundary. There was one receiver. The receiver ran a post. Juice ran not like a wheel route, but he ran up in vertical and kind of like a crossing route, but deep. and he was wide open. He scored. That was excellent. My issue, okay, they're going to tout the run game. We had 26 carries for 113 yards. 26 carries, 26 carries, 105 yards. And we average 4 yards a carry. And, that's going to be considered successful. Cam had 16 carries for 65 yards, or for 59 yards, I'm sorry. And he played hurt. But for the University of Connecticut, for our football program to take the real next step, and Joe D'Ambrosio was right when he said that UConn, Jesus does not love me. It's okay. Thank you. Jesus despises me. Joe D'Ambrosio was right when he said, yeah, we beat BC. But be honest, BC was terrible. BC stunk. We beat a very poor Boston College team. So let's give us gold medals. Let's end the season right here. We beat a Power 4 conference team. Everything that we've wanted to accomplish, we have accomplished. Let's everyone get their flowers. And that's not the case. And for us to go down to Rice, losers of 4 in a row, and to play the way that we did. And again, I don't put it all on the players at all. Now the players, just defensively especially, they had some mistakes. Some of their stunts, some of their blitzes, they wound up in the same gap. Guys missed tackles, and that was critical. Rice had a very good game plan of getting Jenkins downhill. And when he got downhill, he hit the hole hard and fast. I don't care if he's undersized. He ran hard, and guys could not tackle him. I can't wait to go back through and watch, see the number of missed tackles we had, because that made all the difference. Jesus loves me. Jesus does not love me. You know why Jesus doesn't love me? Because I am quite the asshole. That's what I'll tell you. I am an asshole, and I tell it like it is. But I don't blame the kids. I blame offensively, we ask the kids at times to execute schemes and plays that they are not as capable of executing. And what I mean by that is Joe Figliano, having him run sprint out passes, having him run nakeds, having him throw on the run. If you look at his completion percentage or some of his success rate throwing on the run, it is not nearly as good as when he can throw from a clean pocket. It's a struggle for him. He's just not as accurate throwing on the run. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a quarterback who is more of a drop back guy, who he is athletic, however, he struggles. I shouldn't even say struggle. He's not as accurate throwing on the run. Why are we putting him in position to do that? When the game is on the proverbial line in overtime, the second overtime, we just scored. We have momentum. And part of me wanted us to go for 2. Part of me was thinking, man, we haven't stopped this team. Let's try to go for 2 and end it. Part of me thought that, but we didn't. So we get the ball back. First play, sprint out, incompletion. Second play, handoff to Cam, 3 yards. Third play, ball, they blitzed us, I believe. Ball was tipped, incompletion. Field goal. Rice gets the ball back. I think we stopped them on first down. Second down was a touchdown. And then I went to go stick my head in the oven. And I went to go to stick my head in the oven because of frustration, because of pure anger. And again, it's not directed at the kids because I think we have more talent. I think we have more ability. I think we have more skill than we've had in years. My issue is I don't know that we are putting them in the best position to succeed. To completely abandon the run game on the road in the rain did not make sense. And I understand Cam being hurt. Great, Cam's hurt. We got running backs. MJ Flowers, I love MJ Flowers. MJ Flowers has gotten carries few and far between, and I'm not at practice. I am a broken down, old, moronic CTE veteran. I don't know. Maybe MJ Flowers is not as good as I thought he was going to be. But Victor Rosa, I believe, is. Oliver Lundberg Coleman, when he touched the ball, he made things happen. So we cannot abandon the run game. We cannot ask Joe Figliano to throw the ball 48 times and expect to win. That is just ludicrous. And we weren't in the situation where we needed it. It's not like we were down 21 points and we had to throw the ball to get back in the game. That was never the case. That was never the case. We didn't need Joe to throw 48 times. We needed some balance. We needed some creativity. And we lacked it. We lacked it. We didn't have answers for Rice when they blitzed. We could have burned them several times, and we didn't. Joe was stuck back there, having nowhere to go with the ball. And I give credit again to our running backs, whether it was Victor, whether it was Cam. They stuck their nose in there, and they picked up the blitz. We picked up the pressure. But you have to understand, we have 5 linemen, 1 running back. They're bringing 6. We have 6 to block. So it's 6 on 6. Your time is limited. So if a receiver doesn't get open, if space isn't made, then we are going down in flames. And that's what happened. That's what happened. Joe tried to take off and run a couple times. We didn't get a lot out of it. Receivers, whatever the route combinations were that we were running, were not working. I did love the call in overtime. We ran a concept where Cam was wide open on a swing pass. That was huge. That was brilliant. That was a good call. But overall, I think that self-scouting and putting our kids in a position to win, putting our kids in a position to have success. That's what I want. If we lose, and we lose by putting our kids in the best position to succeed, I'll take it. I'll take it. We put our kids in the best position to succeed. We ask them to do everything that they're capable of doing, things, concepts they can execute. I'll take it. This game, I didn't feel we did that. We ran, again, the commentators talked about, UConn and the stretch play and the outside zone. Well, the outside zone play pretty much got shoved up our ass. And you want to know why? Because everyone in the country who watches film, and other teams are coached too, knows what side we're going to. I could tell. We motioned Hansen into the backfield to lead a couple times. It was going to that side. We were in the pistol, offset eye, out of the gun. It's going to that side, whatever side the fullback's on. We tried running it without the tight end in the backfield, shoved up our ass. Because, and I've said it before, and I'm sounding like a broken record, and I really don't give a flying fuck. The aiming point for the back and outside zone from the gun, offset, okay? If the back is to the right, you know the play is going to the left. The aiming point is so wide. The back has to turn his shoulders flat and come across. Okay? And then you want him to try to get downhill to get the edge. Well, realistically, 10 times out of 10, that doesn't happen. It never hits the outside. What ends up happening, it's a cut play. The back comes directly across. He hopes the defensive line and the linebackers flow, and then he sticks a foot and he goes north. And that's where he gets his yards. And that's what we major in. I coached college football for 10 years. I've seen other college coaches run games, run schemes. Nobody majors in outside zone. And it's for that reason. Because unless you have a true dual threat quarterback like Rice does, it's very, very challenging to get to the edge out of the shotgun. And you don't have a quarterback who is a threat to run to hold the backside pursuit. Now, Joe, as I was dead wrong, Joe is a threat to run. Joe has proven on many occasions he can take off and go. He's athletic. He is fast. He can run. But Joe, either they don't read it as a play, they just give it every time, or he just isn't allowed to pull it. So the backside pursuit flies. Cam got drilled in the backfield time and time again. I believe it was 3 times. Can't run it. Can't run it. Again, you're putting your team in a position where they can't execute a scheme to have success. You're not putting them in the best position to succeed. And that's where I have a problem. That's where I have a big problem. Because we have a ton of talent. And then up front, defensively, Vincent Carroll Jackson, a couple of the other guys, Hoffman, they play their hearts out, you know. But when your linebackers and your safeties misfit or miss tackles, there's nothing you can do. They're doing their jobs. They're doing their jobs. They're occupying 2 blockers. So a linebacker or a safety can fit in there and make the play. And we weren't getting that consistently. We did get it. times here, times there. We did not get it consistently. The 75-yard touchdown pass was just a busted coverage. I can't remember if it was Pringle, but whoever the corner was, their eyes were in the backfield. They weren't even watching Jenkins run by them. That was frustrating. That was disappointing. But I'm just curious to see what the drive chart was in the second half, because I believe that we had some good field position and we squandered it. Okay, so here we go. Fourth quarter, 7:50 to go in the game. We are on the Rice 45-yard line. Rice 45-yard line. And we go, it was the fourth quarter. We had that's when we had the missed field goal, I believe. Yes. That's when we had the missed field goal. We went from the 45 to the 28. 4:51 left in the game, missed field goal. Get the ball back, fourth quarter. This is when we're pinned. And this is where we got lucky. We did a nice job defensively. We're on the 5-yard line. We moved it out to the 29, and we had a good punt. And we gave the ball back to Rice. Rice, and I believe we forced a 3 and out. We got the ball back with 52 seconds left on our 23-yard line. We ran it down to 27 seconds. It was 3 and out, and we punted. So the second half drives, I'm looking in the third quarter. We had the ball on the Rice 45-yard line in the third quarter. That led to the field goal that made it 24-17. We should have moved the ball more on that drive. That was I thought we could have gotten more out of that. Then we had the ball. I mean, this was a better drive. We had it on the minus 39. We had it for 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Or no, I'm sorry. We got it at 4 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm sorry. No, we did not have a great drive. We only had it for 2 minutes, and then we punted. And then the fourth quarter started. We have the ball. Rice scored, I believe, and we had the ball at 11. Was it 11:45? Yeah, we got it on the kickoff at 11:45. We were on, and this is when we had the good kickoff. We were on the 50-yard line. We went 5 plays, 24 yards, and we punted. Huge missed opportunity there. I'm sorry, I'm reading that wrong. I am reading that wrong. Where was the kickoff? Okay, no, I'm not reading that wrong. We had the ball on our 49 or 50-yard line. We went 5 plays, 24 yards, and we punted. And again, you can't have field position like this and missed opportunities. And then the overtime play selection, I thought was not very, very good. The team stats. Rice had 20 first downs to our 18. They had 13 rushing first downs. We had 5. We had 13 passing first downs. They had 7 because they couldn't throw the ball for shit. They had 300 yards rushing to our 105. 56 attempts, 5.4 yards a carry. We had 26 attempts, 4 yards a carry. They had 4 touchdowns. We had 1. Yes, they did also have 34 yards lost. We only had 8 yards lost. But when, you only have 120 we only had a net, of 105 yards rushing. 8 yards adds up. That puts us under 100 yards rushing total. No. We had 105 total. We had 344 yards passing to Rice's 191. However, Rice was 17 of 22. That's 5 incompletions. We were 32 of 48. Again, I do not put that on Joe Figiano. I put it on our offensive coordinator for asking Joe Figiano to throw the ball 48 times in a game that was not decided by 24 points. We weren't behind. We weren't behind 3 touchdowns. We weren't behind 2 touchdowns. We didn't need to throw the ball 48 times. Yeah, I know Cam's hurt. Yeah, I know you may not trust Victor Rosa. You may not trust Oliver Lumberg Coleman. You may not trust MJ Flowers, but they're on the roster for a reason. Are they there for window dressing? Why don't you give them a chance and maybe they'll rise to the occasion? Oliver Lumberg Coleman, 2 carries, 12 yards. We could have kept feeding him. Total offense. Rice, 491 yards to our 449. They had 78 plays to our 74. They averaged 6.3 yards a play. We averaged 6.1. Again, no turnovers, which is frustrating. We had 2 penalties for 30 yards. One of them was that stupid personal foul on Wes Ho. I thought that was ridiculous. Both teams had 8 punts. Third down conversions, we were 5 of 17. Rice was 6 of 18. You want to be around the 40% mark. We're close, but fourth down conversions, we were 1 of 1. Rice was 1 of 2. We were 2 for 2 in the red zone. Rice was 3 for 3. We had 1 sack for 8 yards. And the missed field goal, unfortunately. So I'm just fired up because this was a game. We went to Texas. We went maybe with our heads held high, and maybe they should have been. However, to have such a long flight home with a defeat is disheartening, disappointing, and not fair to these kids. These kids played their hearts out. These kids do everything and anything asked of them. These kids fight. They fight. No matter what the situation is, they fight. They never back down. And yeah, Rice was gashing us up and down, up and down, up and down. But at the end of the game, we still only gave up 24 points. College football, if you're giving up 24 points, you should win the game. You should win the game. And offensively, to start the half with the ball, And to have possessions in good field position and not take advantage of them, we're not good enough to do that. We are not good enough to do that. We are not good enough to waste those opportunities because we're not producing turnovers. We're one of the lowest ranked teams in the country as far as it comes to turnovers. We don't produce them. So what that means on offense, every possession counts. Every play counts. Whoever gets the ball, every opportunity counts. It matters. It makes a difference. Rice came out and played like it was their Super Bowl. Because you know what? UConn's coming to town. UConn's coming to town flying high just off of beating Boston College. They're ripe for the picking. And that is what they did. That is exactly what they did. They came out, they out-physicaled us, they out-game planned us, they out-coached us. Am I going to say they outplayed us? I think they were put in better situations and let's put it this way. Rice's quarterback, he wasn't asked to throw the ball 48 times because the Rice coaching staff knew he was not going to have success throwing the ball 48 times. They knew they had to establish a running game. The University of Connecticut asking Joe Figiano to throw the ball 48 times is inexcusable when we've had a balanced attack all season long. And credit to Skylar Bell. Credit to Romello Murphy. Credit to Victor Rosa. Credit to the guys up front. Credit to Lewis Hanson, Alex Hunnig, Juice Vereen. We have more depth and more talent than we've had in years. And I don't want to see it go to waste. Sure, we can finish 8-4. Sure, we can go to a bowl game, end up 9-4. Joe Figiano will go down as a UConn legend for leading 2 9-win seasons back to back. I don't know that that's been done. I don't know if Thunder Dan did that. I don't know if maybe Zach Frazier did that in 2000. No, Tyler Lorenzen. Doesn't matter. Or we can come back against UAB, and I'm going to be there. I'm coming. Anyone want to say something to me? Please do. Anyone want to tell me I'm full of malarkey? Anyone want to tell me I'm full of shit? Anyone tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about? Please do. I'm coming. Because we need to beat UAB, who got a win this week. They ain't going to be no easy win. They're coming to UConn. They're thinking the same thing. UConn just lost to Rice. Rice was 0-4 going into this. We can beat UConn. Duke, Air Force, Florida Atlantic. So, one game at a time. UAB, we got to come out with an attitude. We have to come out with some swagger. And we have to come out as a coaching staff and put our players in positions to succeed. We cannot rely our run game on outside zone. Yes, I know the numbers show statistically using outside zone as your base run play has been successful. Reality, teams get all our film. Teams know when it's coming. When we go north and south, we are much more successful than going east and west. We have exceptional tight ends, which I've clamored for all year. Run power, run counter, run a couple gap schemes. Because you know what? When a team like Rice decides to bring 6, a gap scheme washes it all down. And it's a touchdown. You can run counter against any inside blitz. You can run power against an outside blitz. You can do quick game. But asking Joe to sit back there on a 5-step drop, not a 5-step drop, just out of shotgun, having him hold the ball, try to get the ball downfield without sight adjustments, without route conversions, without audibling to a better play, a more advantageous play to give him a chance to have success. That is what drives me nuts. Because you know, and I knew, because I charted it and I saw the first half, every third down, Rice was bringing 6. Whether they had 4 walked up, 1 off the edge, and they brought 1 up the middle, or they had 4 on the line, they brought 2 up the middle, 6 were coming. Did we make adjustments? No. And could we hold up? No. We held up as long as we could, but you have to understand. You have to understand when 6 are coming, someone's going to get through. You have limited time to get rid of the ball. And unless your receivers create separation, unless different route concepts are called and utilized, you are going to struggle. And you were putting Joe in harm's way. And that's what angered me the most. You're asking him to sit back there and have basically 5-man route, 5-step route combinations versus a 6-man pressure. And that is inexcusable. That can be avoided. That can be adjusted very easily. Very easily. Mixing in tempo makes a difference. Run downhill. Please run downhill. Give Cam a break. We need Cam healthy. We need Cam healthy for Duke. We need Cam healthy for Air Force. I trust Victor Rosa. Victor Rosa is in the right place at the right time. He plays hard. Victor Rosa is someone who last year, with Mel Brown and Cam Edwards taking over the majority of the run game, Victor Rosa could have hauled ass out of town, gone into the transfer portal, and left. He didn't. He stayed. He stayed. And that matters. That means something. That's loyalty. That's dedication. That's what you don't see in college football anymore. What you see is kids who don't get enough playing time, who believe they should get enough playing time. They enter the transfer portal. They're gone. Victor Rosa didn't do that. Victor Rosa stuck around because he had loyalty to the university. He believed in Coach Mora. He believed in Coach Gordon. He believed in the message. He believed that UConn football was going to continue their journey back to greatness. And he wanted to be part of it, even though he was not second on the depth chart, third on the depth chart. Any opportunity he had, he was going to make the most of it. So I have no problem. Give Victor Rosa the ball. Give Oliver Longberg Coleman the ball. Give MJ Flowers the ball. You have them on the roster for a reason. MJ Flowers came in the transfer portal. You put him on scholarship. You're paying him. Make him earn the money. Because the kid's got talent. Now his talent isn't running east and west. His talent's running north and south. So next week, what I want to see, I want to see us come out, establish the run, stop the run, and I want to see some creativity. I want to see us put our players in positions to succeed. Coach Brock, defensively, you're right there. Take the next step. Nobody coaches with more passion and enthusiasm than you. My only suggestion, and you didn't blitz a ton this game. You did bring pressure, and you brought selective pressure, and I thought it was very well done. Omar Diamande, phenomenal job. Matt Hoffman, Vincent Carroll Jackson. I just think it's a great group. But I want us to come out with an attitude. I want us to come out and play like we have nothing to lose with our hair on fire. Because that's going to be the difference between 8-4, 9-3, 7-5. Because right now we're licking our wounds. Right now, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Nothing's guaranteed. We thought because we beat Boston College that everyone was going to lay down for us. Rice, we're going to show up and we're going to beat Rice. We're going to show up, we're going to beat UAB. They had other thoughts. And again, I don't put it on the players. Our players, yeah, they made mistakes. Yes. But put them where they need to be to have success. Don't ask them to execute concepts and techniques they are not the best at. Get good. We can't be all things to all people. And I know we're married to the outside run game. I implore you, please. I'm an O-line guy, and I'm stubborn, and I'm old, and I'm a jackass. I implore you, let's develop a north-south run game. Let's put in a couple gap schemes. Power, counter. We have the tight ends to do it. And then the play action off of it. Joe Fagiano's a great leader. We need to protect for him. We need to give him a clean pocket. Our tackles can't get pushed back into him. and then he can fire the ball downfield. He has the strongest arm. He can make every throw imaginable on that field. Okay? So I will stop ranting. This loss was infuriating. And I know that the players and the coaches are infuriated as well. But tomorrow's a new day. Saturday's a new game. This is a new week. When I was a coach, a game like this, I wouldn't even put it on. I would take the tape, I'd snap it, throw it in the garbage. Didn't even happen. Let's move on to UAB. Any corrections that need to be made, I'll draw them on the board, but I'm not showing the film. I want this game erased from their minds. I want it to be like the Men in Black, where you'd show the little thing and it erases their mind that this game happened. But I love Mike Burton, Mark D'Amelio, everything they've done with Store Central. They have raised the funds through Store Central and our NIL collective that's allowed us to bring in players like Skylar Bell, like Juice Farine, like Romello Murphy, like Shamar Porter, who have made a difference. Wes Ho, Ty Chan, Vincent Carroll Jack. I mean, it's endless. Brian Parham. We need to come together as an alumni group and support our NIL fund to continue to bring in talent so we can have success, so we can show the country that Connecticut cares about football, that we can draw, that people will come to games, that we are worthy and competitive and can play in a Power Four conference. And no, it's not next year. No, it's probably not the year after. But you give us 2 or 3 years, and I was part of that. We went to Division I FBS in the year 2000. I was part of that transition. I took my lumps. I took my lumps. I remember it very, very well. But I also remember 2002. Dan Orlovsky became our starting quarterback. Everyone counted us out. We played Boston College. We played Navy. We played Miami, Virginia Tech, Iowa State, Vanderbilt. We went 6-6. And that is what springboarded us to being able to join the Big East early and going 9-3 in 2003, making our first bowl game after the 2004 season. We are on the cusp of doing that again. I truly believe it. The only difference now, it's about the money. We need the money and the funding to bring in the talent. We bring in the talent, we're going to win games. We're going to win games. The fans will come. The fans will come. Television revenue will come. Broadcast rights will come. Broadcast rights come. Conferences are going to want us. The power conferences want us. We join. That's it. Now we have guaranteed revenue for football, basketball, men's and women's. And we have revenue sharing throughout the conference. We're right on the cusp of that. Let's not lose sight of that goal. And that's why I credit Mike Burton as much as I do. Mike Burton Mike Burton took me under his wing when I was a freshman. He was a fifth-year senior. He could have been a jerk to me, and he never was. Mike Burton was kind to me. Mike Burton demanded that I perform well because he saw ability in me. And Mike Burton was the one who, after 22 years, welcomed me back into the UConn program last year, inviting me to come out to games when I was embarrassed to. I didn't want to come out because I didn't think I belonged. I didn't believe that, I was embarrassed about not being as successful as other alums. But Mike Burton went out of his way to be nice to me. And I know that he doesn't know that, but it resonated and it really made a difference. And it's the reason that I do the podcasting and cover UConn sports. And the podcasting, believe me, it's a dream to have a podcast network. And I work with Coach Schumann, Dave Schumann, and we're on the cusp of breaking through that glass ceiling. But, it's been a struggle with sponsorships, with trying to pay the bills. Because you can get online and you can talk and you can podcast, but people aren't paying to hear you. You're just spewing hot air, and that's what I'm doing. But we do have great content. We do provide real content, and we're a couple sponsorships away from making this all worthwhile. It's been a 1.5 year journey with Coach Schumann. It's really been a 2-year journey for me to try to make a career out of podcasting where I can do the things I want. And I do 1 million shows because I want this to work. But Mike Burton has always been supportive. Mike Burton has always believed in what we do. Mike Burton has made me confident and believe in myself. And that has made a tremendous impact on my life. Because there's a lot of you who don't know circumstances and things that I've been through. But Mike Burton taking the time to have me back for a game, taking the time to believe in what I'm doing, taking the time to come on a show when he has his own business, his own company. He's busier than anyone I know. He's got kids. He'll answer the phone if I call him. He'll respond to a text if I text him. And that is what has truly defined my mission to go after this goal of having success as a podcaster. Because there's a million podcasts out there. There's a million of them. 90% of them don't make money. I'm one of the 90%. I do it because I love it. I do it because I believe I'm good at it. I do it because I want to provide the University of Connecticut with the coverage that it deserves. I don't think UConn sports gets enough coverage, whether it be from the newspapers, the media. I don't think we get enough coverage. Radio, but our podcasts, our podcasts get views. Our podcasts matter. Our podcasts have made a difference. So Mike Burton is the one who gave me the self-confidence and the security to pursue this goal, to pursue my dream. Am I going to be on Barstool or anything anytime soon? No. No. But maybe one day pay the bills, right? I'd like to thank Procyon Partners. He's up top. Sean Rabinowitz. Sean's another one. When I first started podcasting, Sean, who I went to school with, Sean was the first person, the first business to sponsor me. And Sean did not think twice. Didn't think twice. I said, Sean, I'm doing some podcasting. I'm looking for sponsors. Would you be interested? Yes. He did that for me. He did that for me when I was just starting out. Just an incredible person who's gone through tremendous personal struggles with his family that I wouldn't wish upon anyone. He's got the best attitude in the world. He's one of the best human beings I know. And Sean being the one to jump in to be a sponsor got things rolling. And I haven't done the best that I haven't done the best that I should be as far as trying to get the money from certain sponsors, but I'm not going to chase people down. You know, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You send invoices. If they don't pay, they don't pay. But I will continue to represent them and mention them as sponsors because it's not about the money. It's about doing what's right and helping their business. And hopefully one day they will pay. But again, Mike Burton, salt of the earth, his wife, salt of the earth, just amazing people. And, they both have treated me with such kindness. And it made me feel welcome coming back to UConn. And it was very emotional for me to do that last year when I first came back. And this will be the first time I'm coming back this year. It's emotional because it brings back a lot of memories. And it's because of their support that I'm able to come back and want to. I'm going to have fun and see my friends. And again, Sean Rabinowitz, Procyon Partners, Employee Benefits, Wealth Management, Retirement Planning, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of our podcast network. And he was the first one, man. He made a difference. He made it all happen. So I thank him. Sucks we lost to Rice. But we will come back. We will come back with a vengeance. We will come back with an attitude. We will not be defeated. We will not let this define us. I believe we learned our lesson that even though we beat Boston College, nobody's going to be laying down for us. And we're going to throttle UAB. This is Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them right at me.